Good morning and welcome on board the slow boat to Melbourne. It's a week since I dismasted. A week, can you believe that? We have sailed 374 miles and there are 410 miles left to Melbourne. And that means that yesterday we did 94 miles. We nearly broke 100 miles. And actually we did sail more than 100 miles because actually I'm measuring distances down the run line. So I sailed more than 100 miles yesterday. That's amazing. I can't believe I'm so happy with it. So as we expected, the front passed over last night and I've now got these southwesterlies with some big old waves coming up behind me. But the good news is that the pooping, the waves coming into the cockpit is a lot better now I moved that weight forward. But when they do break in the cockpit, they really do. It's like a tsunami advancing towards the door. One of them has made it over the top of the dam, so I need to keep the door closed a bit at the moment. So in other good news, since the update yesterday, I've had two subsequent weather forecasts, both of which are nothing like that scary one we had yesterday. So neither of the weather models I'm looking at are seeing the intensity of that depression, and actually it looks like it's forming quite a way further south, which at the moment means I've got a clear run into Melbourne, which I am really happy about. But it's the weather, it can change, so we've just got to keep an eye on it. Exciting times this morning. I hit a new top speed in the slow boat. 7 knots, 7 knots, 7 knots. Come on. .3, 7.4. Yes. Following the update yesterday, we had a bit of seal intel from Rory, who says he thinks the seal that was by the boat is a sub-Antarctic fur seal, and he said they're much smaller than sea lions, and it looked like the one next to the boat was either an adult or a juvenile female. So thanks for that, Rory. Nice to know. Now I've made what might seem a rash decision, and I may well be opening myself right up to a load of criticism here, but I've decided, as it's my 1 week dismasting versary, which is not a happy anniversary, I have decided today is the day I am going to have my last tea bag. It's happening. So I said today I was going to share with you some of the footage from my dismasting and just talk a little bit about how I assembled this jury rig in the first place. The first action when the rig came down was just to make the hull safe. So I went and got a hacksaw and some gloves, and basically slowly started to cut everything off that was still attached to the boat, with the aim of just saving as much as I could. In the end, all I was able to save was the boom, the furlers, and one outrigger, as the rest of it was all still attached to the mast, which was rapidly sinking down the side of the boat. It's a mess. I need to sort it out. So that's what I'm doing. Everything free. So the only thing I've got left now is the boom and one of the outriggers. I just need to make everything safe now, get everything on board. So the next step was just a big tidying up exercise, just removing all of the strops, the lashings, the lazy bag, all the lines that I'd cut were tangled around each other, and then I needed to get the boom out of the way and secured on the foredeck, and the mast stump as well I needed to move, just so I had a clear area to work in and that nothing would go over the side, and then I could start thinking about a jury rig. So pretty much cleared the deck up now, and the next thing for me to do then is to see if I can get this outrigger hoisted as a mast. I did say to the guys that I would wait until they'd woken up, but I think it's going to get windy and the sun's shining, and I think I just want to do this now, so I'm going to give it a try on my own. One of the challenges was how to get the foot of the outrigger to stay in one place. Originally I thought it would go just behind the mast step on that metal ring there, and that's where I was aiming for. I'd got all the stays in place at the top, 2 back stays and a forestay. And then to hoist it, I just needed the bottom of the outrigger to stay put. So I attached a jib downline to it that I could pull down, and I wrapped it in a neoprene balaclava to stop it from sliding around. Attaching the stays to the top of the outrigger was relatively easy because there were already stays on there. So you can see here I cut the original stays down to stumps but left the eyes in place, and then I attached the back stays and the forestays with soft shackles using my original runner tails, and it was super easy to attach them. And the back stays just come down to the original backstay fittings. On the foredeck I just attached a snatch block and used my spinnaker downline snuffer, which goes already, that kind of leads back to the cockpit down that tunnel there. So I knew that I could control that from the cockpit. If we look here, we can see there's a lot of lines that come out through the top of the cathedral here, and these are the lines that came through the mast. So I knew I would have plenty of options for making halyards. I just needed to find one that was the right length, because I did cut quite a lot of them. So for example, all of these were inside the mast and I just had to cut them to liberate the mast. So I just needed to find halyards of the right length. You might just be able to make out there a blue carabiner. So I attached that with a loop to the top of the outrigger, and that's basically what my halyards are going through. That's their turning block. So in here I've got this line is just pulling directly down on the bottom of the outrigger. There's a backstay there, a backstay on the other side, and then that blue line is the forestay. And I'm kind of hoping that if I just manipulate the 3 of them carefully, I might be able to hoist this thing. Let's see. I couldn't get the outrigger to sit after the mast base like I originally thought, because the angle on the coach roof was too high to get it to slot into position. Whereas if I swung the outrigger out to the side, I could get it to sit on one side of the mast base. So that's where it ended up, with a balaclava around it for protection, and then a ratchet strap around the outrigger and the mast base to hold it. It took a bit of organisation to try and get the foot in place, but it's working. It's actually working. 3 hours of work, and I'm ready to hoist a sail. I can't believe it's worked. I can hoist a sail, get going, and have a cup of tea in the sun. After that initial 3 hours of activity, we've kind of keep evolving to this, which so far is doing it okay, but I do look at absolutely everything several times a day. I go in and inspect all the fittings, and in particular where that outrigger is sitting on the deck. 2 days time, it's Christmas Eve, and I think I'm going to be becalmed for at least some of the day then. So if the swell is not too bad, then my intention is to actually take the mast down and just inspect all of the elements. I've thought of a way I want to redo my backstays to free up the winches, and just make sure that when that final blow comes in to send us to Melbourne, that everything is as good as it could be, and we don't have any more issues. But for now, I'm just going to sit out here for a bit and enjoy the might and the power of the Southern Ocean, albeit slowly.